back to another episode of Aussie Bucking. I've got my Ferris mower again here doing another review. It's virtually on 500 hours, only a few hours off, but I've had some issues and I'm starting to throw some parts at it right now. So this is what I want to show you what's happening with this machine after all this. So I brought a bit of cardboard again, and I have to say that number one, the hydro fan, where it keeps the hydro cool, the little fan that runs on top of the hydro pump, it has got a stick up in there. No fault of the machine at all, but the sticker's got up there and wore it out. And I had to get one in before summer because it was going to cause a few issues of overheating, and so it runs like that there, and so it obviously spins like that and cools, but a stick must have got in it because I can't hardly hear it, or can't hear any going under the mower while you've got earplugs in and mowing. So this is what happened to it. But it took about 6 months to get this here. There was a breakdown in the system somehow or other, so that was what happened there. But you can't just buy the fan itself, you've got to buy the whole kit, which is pretty bloody hopeless. This here does nothing. It would never wear out, that pulley there, really, but you've got to buy the whole lot. And the whole lot cost me, I think there's a receipt that will come up, and it cost me a fair few bucks to get this thing, but it took 6 months to get it. So but I wasn't prepared to run with that and overheating and wrecking one of my hydros, so I got a new one for that. That's what happens, but not really a fault of the machine, but probably more a fault of they could put a guard or something that the stick can't get up in there, and to get access into that fan area, it could have broken more up in there if the stick got up in a bad angle. But they could put a little guard or something, or a little tiny whatever over that, so it can't drive into there. So next thing is the an idler pulley. I brought that down with me. So this is the old idler pulley, and I'll do a comparison a bit later on that. But the idler pulley, you could hear it while the mower was running. You could hear it screaming, and it was pretty, not deafening at all, but it was just bloody annoying knowing that I found out which one it was, and it was this one here. It's running all the time. It's not just when you're mowing, but it's running all the time. So so I brought a new one. It took me a while to get it too, actually, and it cost me a fair few dollars. I've got the receipt here. See it properly, $95 for that. But the worst thing about it, it can't be pressed. The bearing can't be pressed in and out. And also, if you look closely, you'll see where it's made. China, of course. I did try to lubricate up the top here by putting some bit of oil in there while it was running, but yeah, it didn't help at all. But unfortunately, you can't press them out, and not someone can tell me how to do it. And replace just the bearing part with a probably good quality Japanese one or something else, American one, whatever. But yeah, that's another Chinese part that's failing, and I wasn't prepared to let it lock up and fly off everywhere and do some damage, so I replaced it. So that's just part of the maintenance part of the deal you do to keep this thing running for 500 hours like now. Another issue we're having is the deck starting to show its age. So I've got a few cracks. Tyson, come around here. Which is fairly disappointing, but I think they all do it eventually. But around is here, as you can see, it's cracking, and around here it's cracking too. So it's disappointing. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and I will eventually weld it up. I'll probably get to a certain amount of hours. Once it gets too bad, I will take the deck off. I'll respray the deck and redo it, all the deck up, what needs to be done, and put it back on. Good for another 500 hours, hopefully. So just starting with that now, that's starting to crack. No other cracking on any other part of the frame anywhere else that I've noticed, and I'm always looking for any cracks at all. So so that's just the only spot. It does cop a fair bit of pounding up through here as it's jiggling, or as the deck's working. But it's just probably they need to put more of a weld around the back edge of there, or reinforce that with a plate, and then put this plate on here on top of another big plate. So just something engineering's not quite right there. But original dry belt. So I've got the original dry belt still running on it, and I was going to change it out while I was doing the job with it, replacing that pulley. but it's quite in depth. So I'll let the Ferris guys do it. We've got a fairly good Ferris dealer pretty close to us. So you've got to take the main drive belt off, and you've got to take the drive belt off for the blades, or for the deck to come off too, but it's around the clutch area. So I wasn't prepared to do that sort of thing. It gets fairly in depth. And I said, no, bugger it, I'll let the pros do that one. But generally I can do most of the motor install myself, but not that one. I'll just let that one go. So it's the original dry belt is only that belt, and also this one or the other one. This side here is actually the original belt also, but you have to keep this tensioned up. Well, actually not this one, you've got to adjust this tension here. You can see that new bit of thread there where it's shining. Keep pulling that back here and getting this as it stretches out. Obviously there's not enough tension, and the belt will wear. You'll notice it start wearing on this frame here, and that's what sort of lured me. I could hear it chattering a little tiny bit, and even though it looks tight, it's not tight enough. So once you see that rubbing against that there, start doing this little idler pulley away from it, and it will pull the tension back on. So but that still is the original belt, you know. So the main belt that lets go is the big belt that runs from the engine back around, and big serpentine one there. Then it runs back on a double pulley up system up and underneath here, and runs to this side here. It never slips. Well, virtually I've never felt it slip, but if in really heavy conditions, it will bloody bog down. As I say, in the last ones I have stalled it twice, which is pushing it really hard. The engine just can't handle it. Eventually it just gets too much for it, and it stops. So another problem on this side too, Tyson. So this part here is wearing out really bad. Obviously it jiggles all the time when it's running, obviously when it's working, but that's getting all elongated. And then this shaft here is getting badly worn, so I'm going to have to fix it eventually. It drives me sort of nuts that it jiggles and carries on, and it's getting so sloppy. It used to hold up once upon a time, but when you put it on the trail to go do some work, but now it's sort of just it'll fall down again. So that's just another thing that's going. It needs fixing in time also. So what else we got? I'm going to say back on the stickers again. The stickers are all falling apart. That's one of me hate things. It's looking old and worn out. Back of the engine is getting more and more worn out, and I like to keep the machine nice and clean after a big job, and especially when muddy conditions where we're getting lately. We've got a lot of rain, so I do like to keep it tidy, but it is an ongoing thing with the stickers. They're just going to fall off. That's just part of the deal. It's just not good enough, that part. But the seat, always on about the seat. The seat's getting worse and worse. It's getting really worn out now. In the slot here, I'll just flip him over. So where it pivots from up inside there's a big bolt that holds this pivot part here. It's getting, you can see that wear there. Awesome. See that? You can zoom in there. You can see that wear there and that bolt there. That's just got elongated too much, and it needed a bush in there, some sort of bush system there to hold that in place too. But eventually I'm going to fix this seat or buy a new one. And you can see it worn out here too. See the movement in that there. So it's getting, it's on its way out, but I'll persist with it for a bit longer. Suspension on this machine has been no problem at all. It's been it is probably the best part. The engine's unreal too, but the suspension's really good. It has no, never had any problem with suspension. Actually, after nearly 500 hours, I'm starting to get fairly used to the machine and I'm starting to actually adjust the suspension on it and to see if I can soften it just a touch more. So, and I adjusted this right back to zero, or to start, so the least tension on that spring, and it never bottoms out. I watch it through hard stuff. It never bottoms out, so that's a good sign, but you can see it always working nice and soft all the time, and it's doing a good job. The back, I have adjusted to halfway on here. I used to have it flat out, or on this one here, I can't remember now, but I adjusted it back a bit to soften it too. You can't really feel much difference in the back at all, but it'd be pretty hard to pick up the difference between probably on hard and soft. It's really hard to do that. So, but I have put it halfway along there, and that's probably, you know, it's a good start sort of thing, you know, for my weight and what I do with it. I can't do much better than that. As I say, the engine is very good. I've never had any trouble with it. I just clean the air filter out when needed. I service it every 100 hours as needed. New filter, new oil every time, good quality oil, all 30 weight. The hydros I'm still doing myself. I've never had any more leaks in the hydro as yet on that shaft, output shaft there. So it's always been good so far. It's not playing up anymore is the thing. All these linkages here, I've never had any problem with it. Only that there, I've replaced that one or that one there now, which is in the last video. They've been going good since. But yeah, all round, it's still a good mower. So if I was going to buy another one, yes I would. It's still a very good mower. I still like the mower. It's always done good for me. It never really has broken down at all. So yeah, so I hope this helps anyone at all trying to decide if they're going to buy a new mower or buy one of these. Hope this is going to help you a little bit. Yeah, so thanks a lot, and see you the next round.